big week for the English teams left in Europe, but also a big week for some of the English teams that are not in Europe. And it does mean that supporters of Spurs and Manchester United in particular will be in the uncomfortable position of wanting to watch their rivals win. Yes, unusual indeed, but that's because of the changes to the Champions League format for next season. The revamp from 32 to 36 means that the top 2 performing leagues in Europe this season will earn an extra Champions League place, i.e. 5th spot can get you into the big time and earn you a fortune in Champions League TV revenues, 50 million plus just for taking part. As it stands, England are 3rd in the rankings behind Italy and Germany. But a big reason for that is because in the last set of European games last month, only Manchester City and Arsenal were actually playing, because the other 4 teams, Liverpool, Brighton, West Ham and Aston Villa, were automatically through to the last 16 stage of their competitions. Well, over the next 2 weeks, that stage is being played. It does mean that by next Friday, we'll have a really good opportunity of working out where we actually stand and where England's position is. But the reality is really quite simple. If the England teams keep on winning, keep on playing, keep on progressing, the chances of that 5th place going to the Premier League will get bigger and bigger and bigger. And indeed, by the time we get to the semi-final stage, we'll probably know if it's going to be a 5th place spot or not. So how does it stand at the moment? Well, simply, it's all about mathematics. Boring, I know, but it is. It's adding up, dividing and taking away almost. Well, not quite taking away. Over the next couple of days, Germany could potentially lose 2 of its Champions League teams in Bayern Munich and Leipzig. That would definitely help the English situation. Manchester City play Copenhagen on Wednesday. They're already 3-1 up from the first leg. They should win at home. They should go through. That's 3 points for the English total, which will be divided by 8, so 0.375. Arsenal, of course, don't play until next week. Again, if they were to beat Porto by more than 1 goal and go through, another 3 points, another 0.375. So you've got there 3/4 of a point, effectively, in the Champions League alone, by this time next week possibly, which is end of next week, which is really positive for England. But of course, there's the other 4 teams, all of whom start their last 16 legs away from home. Now, some great games. Liverpool, we must assume, even with all their injuries, will be too good for Sparta Prague. That should be 5 points if they win both games and the bonus point over the next week or so. Brighton, the sort of tie that Albion fans, Seagulls fans would have been dreaming of. Roma away. Now, Roma, much better form since Jose Mourinho was sacked. Still a game that perhaps Brighton, if they can get it right, can win and get big points for themselves and also for England. West Ham have already beaten Freiburg home and away this season. It'll be their 3rd successive European game against the same opposition. Indeed, it will be 4th by next week. They've got to be favourites to get through. And Aston Villa in the Conference League, big game at Ajax, but Ajax are not a great team. We know that we've got Jordan Henderson in opposition, but look at their results this season. They're on the fringes of a European place at best for next season, having had a slight recovery, but they're still a poor side. And Villa on their form, the goals they're scoring, the way they're playing, you have to make them favourites to go through. So English clubs could end up certainly in 2nd place, if not actually top of the pile by the end of next weekend, which will make a massive difference. And if the German teams struggle and go out, if Munich and Leipzig and Freiburg, who play West Ham, all go out, it's really hard to see how, if England are ahead of Germany, that can be overtaken, because the teams will go through and continue to get points in the future parts of the competition. So it does look as if this next fortnight in particular will be critical. By Friday of next week, we'll really know how the land lies. But I do think that at the moment, despite starting the series of games in 3rd position, that we could be very confident within less than 10 days that England are going to get that 5th Champions League spot. It's up to the clubs to make it happen.